Hello, I'm Lindsay with the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization, and I'm here today to read to you one of our encounter reports that was submitted through our website, KentuckyBigfoot.com. This report is super interesting, comes to us from a police officer, highly credible source, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So let's get to it. This encounter took place near the city of Slade, which is in the very beautiful Red River Gorge. Now, if you've not been to that area, I do encourage you to visit as soon as you can. You will not regret it. Gorgeous views, and there's Bigfoot out there. So let's get to the report. So this report is listed on our website as Police Officer Files Detailed Report from the Red River Gorge. The occurrence time was between 8:30 and 9 p.m. It was spring. The length of the encounter was 3 to 5 seconds, so relatively short, but there were two witnesses, which is amazing because you cannot beat corroboration when it comes to a Bigfoot sighting. I'm compelled to report this sighting for a friend and his wife who actually saw the creature and had the sighting. My friend has since passed away and I have lost contact with the wife, but for many years we knew each other. They both often spoke of the sighting. I will repeat it as it was told to me as factually as best as I can and without any embellishment. My friend and his wife had been camping in the early spring at the old campground located off 715 on Swift Camp Creek in the Red River Gorge area. The old campground is about a mile up Swift Camp Creek from its confluence with the Red River at the Menifee and Wolfe County line. The road, 715 or Skybridge Road, crosses over the Red River at this location on one of the two bridges that cross over the Red River Gorge. It was a very rainy camping trip, and on this particular day it had rained all day. Near evening, the pair decided to pack up and head home due to the weather, so they broke up camp, packed up the vehicle, and left the campground, heading back towards the Red River along 715, which eventually leads back to Nader Tunnel, the town of Nader, and then onto Slade, Kentucky. They had just crossed the bridge over the Red River, and they described the moment as being a dark, rainy, and somewhat foggy dusk that seemed darker than it should have been due to the rain, fog, and tree canopy cover over the lower river bottoms of the gorge. Just past the bridge on the narrow road, they observed, slightly in front of them, a very tall, very hairy creature walk across the road from the right side to the left. The two told me that the creature crossed the road about only 40 to 50 feet in front of them, right in their headlights, and added that had it been any further away, they probably would not have seen it at all due to the rain and the fog. They both told me that the creature crossed the entire two-lane road in 2 to 3 strides. My friend said he slammed on the brakes, stopped the vehicle quickly, and just sat there for a moment, trying to process what he had just seen in his mind. He finally asked his wife, who had been silent, if she had seen what he had seen, and she replied that she had, and to get the vehicle moving, and to get them out of there quick. He said he accelerated and drove past the place where the creature had crossed the road, and as he drove by, he looked down the area where the creature had disappeared into the forest. He could not see anything. They were both very shaken and continued home, never telling anyone except me and one other friend of ours the description of their sighting. The couple described the creature as being 7 to 8 feet tall, covered with long hair that looked to be matted and appeared to be brown, but also had a greenish tint to it. They said that it was almost like the brown hair was covered in some kind of long hanging moss or seaweed. My friend once said that at first he thought it may have been a man in a ghillie suit, but after rationalizing it out, realized that the creature was far too big to be a man of any kind in a suit. They said it was massive in build, had huge shoulders and long legs. They also commented on the long stride as it crossed the road in 2 to 3 steps and was gone. They included that it was fast, but did not appear to be in a hurry or running, but had just such a long stride that it appeared to be gone quickly. They said that as it crossed in front of them, it barely turned its head and quickly glanced towards the vehicle as it passed by. Neither of them saw much facial details for various and obvious reasons, but said the shoulders shifted slightly to the left as the creature turned its head towards them, allowing them to see how wide the shoulders were. Creature. I had heard of it, but I did not believe in it. At that time, I was in my 20s and did a lot of camping, backpacking, hunting, and fishing. I had not seen or heard of anything like this in all of my outdoors experiences, and was of the opinion that I would not believe in it until I either seen one myself, shot one myself, or saw the remains of one myself. Very common opinion. In the many years we were friends, he and I camped in the same area as the sighting many times together. We hiked and backpacked all over and around the Red River Gorge area, and he always talked about it to me while we were out there. He was also, as it seemed to me, always watching and alert for the creature whenever we were out there. At night, he would tense up when there was an unusual noise off in the forest. He would caution me to be careful and keep my eyes open when I wandered off by myself. Over a period of time, I became convinced that he and his wife had really seen something that had changed them forever. I began to question them about it, and they opened up to me many times to relate the sighting and its effect on them to me. Once they realized that I did not think they were lying or crazy, they entertained questions and always responded with consistent answers. I asked him many times why he did not stop that night, grab a flashlight, and look to see if he could get a better look of the creature, and he always responded that he was in absolute fear and that there was no way he would have stopped and gotten out of the vehicle. He said he even considered turning around and going back the other way so he would not have to drive past the place where they last saw the creature. Now, believe me, this was a man who was as much an outdoorsman as I've ever known. He knew the outdoors, animals, and plants. He knew the sounds of the forest, had been in the military, and was the closest thing to a mountain man I have ever met. He did not fear anything in the forest except that creature. He was so much an outdoorsman that I called him Daniel Boone. His wife was the same way until they had their sighting. Afterwards, she would not go camping with him. In fact, to my knowledge, she never went back into the gorge area for any purpose afterwards. In one conversation we had about the sighting, I asked her if she could draw what she had seen. She said she thought she could and took paper and a pencil to the kitchen table, returning after a while with a pencil drawing of what I would classify as a classic Bigfoot sighting description. I wish to this day that I had kept that drawing. She did a very detailed drawing depicting the creature from a left profile perspective. It was very clear and detailed. I thought she did a good job and commented on how much detail she had included. She replied that she remembered the sighting like it had just happened the evening before, and the image was forever burned into her memory. So that concludes today's reading. If you've had an encounter and you would like us to read it out on your behalf, send us an email to info@KentuckyBigfoot.com. I've been Lindsay Raymond for the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization. Until next time.